we are back for season 2. It's been a long journey since our last mini-series. Lots of life updates to share with you all and all the red flags. This season, we'll be talking about relationships and all the things that come with that. Partnerships, friendships, love relationships, and all the ships you could ever think of.
Hey everyone, this is Tori and Lauren. We're back for season 2. Oh my God, it's been so long since our last recording session, but we're back and we're ready to share all of our life updates, all of the relationship things we've been through, and we're ready to, get back to talking, back to sharing all of our woman empowerment, and also sharing all of our ratchet ass relationship stories.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a wild ride, Miss Tori. So I hope everyone fastens their seatbelts.
Yeah, so today we're talking about all of the red flags. Red flags. A lot of them. So we've created a list. We're going to talk about some examples and we're just going to get through it. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at With Love, Tori and Lauren, and share any red flags that you may have or maybe going through right now as you're listening to this podcast. It's like Inception.
Yeah, let's have a conversation because I'm sure there's things on this list that you probably all relate to, but there's probably things out there that we don't even know about. Like, we want to hear them.
Yeah, so Lauren, want to kick it off?
Yeah, and I just want to say hello, everyone. So happy to be back. First one that we felt was going to be a big red flag. Like, there's a little problem with this. Is someone who's always late. Not just once, not just twice, but multiple times. Like, I don't know about you. I was always taught from a very young age, like, early bird catches the worm, always show up early to your appointments, always be early to your class, always be early to work. Like, you never want to be in a position where you're letting people that, need you or you're responsible for, or obviously life happens, but when it comes to relationships, if you're not showing up when you say you are and you do it multiple times,
it'd be a red flag.
That's a problem. It's like, what are you doing? Why can't you follow through? Like, what's the problem here?
Yeah. So funny story. I just shared with Lauren, but I think it's worthy of the podcast. Went out on a date. So I just moved to Tampa from Kissimmee for my new job. And I've been dating. And I went on a date with this guy who showed up late to our date. What?
And this is your first date, right?
This was our second date.
Okay. But still, that's
still.
Yeah.
Only a confident, badass woman can sit at a table by herself.
Yeah. Why
would you not feel awkward?
Yeah.
And I was there punctual, on time, ready to go. And he rolls in on CPT time. And I'll put that down in the quotes down there. We don't do CPT time. I think I'm the only Puerto Rican person in this world that understands punctuality. Right. And I am a very big stickler on that. So someone being late, especially to a date, that's a big red flag for me.
Yeah. And you were always so good about being punctual, like so young. And, we've known each other for years. Like, you were always like there on time. No questions. Like,
it literally stresses me out to be late. So when I'm sitting at this beautiful restaurant on Tampa Bay, overlooking the water by myself. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
And did you ever call him out on it?
Oh, hell yeah, I did.
And what was his excuse or his reasoning or justifying?
That he had to take out his roommate's dog.
Well, why didn't you pre-plan ahead of time? If you were watching a dog and you knew you got to leave and you got a place to be.
Like I said, make it make sense. Make it make sense, Lauren. So yes, the entire time I was like, but you were late. But you were late. To say the least, we're not going out on a third date. And it's totally fine. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, guys, let us know if time and someone being late multiple times in a relationship is a red flag for you. Let us know. Next one. This is a big one because I've had this come up before. Mm-hmm. Next one is when your partner is like attached to their phone. Like they take it everywhere they go, to the bathroom, outside, to the bedroom, to the kitchen.
They're cheating.
Or it's like face down, or it's like, or it's a place where you can't see it either.
They're cheating.
And it's like in a totally different room.
They're cheating.
I hear you, Tori. I hear you.
I needed to emphasize that for the audience. They take their phone, they're cheating. They're hiding their phone, they're cheating. They leave the room, they take their phone so that you can't see, they're cheating.
Yep. So in conclusion, in my particular circumstance, when I was in a relationship and my partner was doing this, consistently, they were cheating. And I didn't know about it till way late. But I just want to say, like, we do live in a society where, we are on our phones, people have work and commitments. Like, I'm understanding, but like when it comes to a point where, why are you taking it to the bathroom with you? Like to go pee? Like,
it's like intentional hiding for me.
Yeah. Like, it's like, what, your phone for like a minute for you to go pee for a second? Like, you can't just like, no, you're intentional. You're grabbing it and walking out the door to go do whatever you're doing. It's a problem.
Or taking secret phone calls.
Yeah, or taking calls where they don't want they don't want you to listen in on the conversation and they leave the room. And like that face down stuff, it's like, what do you got to hide?
Yeah. I dream of a day where I'm in a relationship where it doesn't fucking matter who's looking at whose phone, because I got nothing to hide. How about that?
I don't have anything to hide. If you want to look at my phone, go for it. You're going to see pictures of dogs, plants.
Here's the password.
And dancing and my nephew. That's what you're going to see because I have nothing to hide. So,
heard.
Yeah. Red flag. So, guys, let us know. Do you think someone that walks with their phone everywhere, doesn't leave it unattended, puts it face down? Let us know if that's a red flag for you.
I'm just saying it's also not just guys. Ladies, we're living in a century where you're also being ratchet, and let's just call out our own gender for a hot second.
I know. It's both of us. It's both sexes. Yep, it is. It's not just guys. It's also women too. So
stop being a shady lady. Okay, so the next red flag. I'm just saying, if you're not hearing from your partner at least every 12 hours, and that's being generous. So if it exceeds 24 to 72 hours and you're left on red, they're cheating. I'm just kidding. They're probably not cheating, but also just a red flag.
Big red flag. And I had a situation.
She was in a situation.
A situation where my partner would leave on a weekend trip claiming it's a work, and I wouldn't hear from him all weekend, and then he would magically appear and I looked like nothing was a problem. Like,
I'm sorry, you're never that busy where you can't contact the person you're in a relationship
with. And you're supposed to be caring about, like, it takes 2 seconds to be doing a little check-in, or, hey, let me see how Lauren is. Oh, I'm doing great. I'll talk to you later. Like, that's all I need. I don't need an hour worth of a conversation, but
yeah, it's like the little check-ins.
Yeah,
I feel like, hey, I'm super busy today. I'll talk to you later. But then you actually have to call later, because if you don't call when you say you're going to call, that's another red flag for me. I'm just saying.
It all ties in, let me tell you. And I guess like the other part of this is also like, in a way, it feels like you're being ghosted. Like no matter like if you're new in a relationship or like kind of further into a relationship, it's like, what are you doing that you can't take 2 seconds to communicate with the person you're supposed to be in a relationship with? Like, I don't understand that in any way. I know life happens and busy, but you're not busy that much to just send a message.
Yeah, no. So I will just give a little antidote. But I was just like that guy that I was just dating that we're not talking anymore. Anyways, literally did not text me for 2 whole weeks. Meanwhile, on our second date, he's talking about like real life shit, like to the point where I was texting my girls after this date that I went on and was like, he's a little bit creepy. Like, I don't know if I can handle this. This is moving way too fast based on the conversations that he's having with me. Yeah. To go from that to then not texting me for 2 whole weeks, which again, I was already going to like start breaking this off a little bit because I was already creeped out. But for you to go from one extreme to the next extreme and not even let me know, ask me what I did.
Tori, what'd you do?
I made sure to text him and let him know, hello, I know that you have not been texting me. If you're gonna ghost me, that is totally okay. But like, let me know because I was gonna do it anyway. Then he was like, yeah, I'm not feeling it anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Stupid ass guy. Anyways, then I was sure to go back and be like, okay, well, I was going to do it, but at least I have the decency to like let you know because I'm way too old to know, like to not know where I stand with someone. That's so annoying. Like maturity is not ghosting someone. It's like, hey, I know we've been out on 2 dates, but I'm not feeling it anymore. Like I did not have any feelings for him. Like it would have been fine.
And that's fine. Like that's valid, but like you said, it's all about how people handle it. And there's just a lot of times there's just a lack of maturity when it comes to just dating in this world now. Like across the board. That could probably be like a whole other episode, Tori. It's just like probably like the emotional maturity.
Intelligence.
Yeah, like
emotional intelligence that no one has nowadays.
Yeah. That could be a totally episode, like on its own. Like
it's just no. The ghosting era of relationships has ended. I'm declaring it ended right now. Like we all need to just stop it. Just like have the balls to go to the person that you're no longer interested in anymore and just be like, I am not interested. And then everyone can move on without the questioning, the toxicity that comes with that. Like, I'm just over it.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm okay with being single for the rest of my life. I'm just
yeah. At this point, guys, like, why do we have these horrible habits? I don't get it, but it's fine. We could probably talk about that, and it's probably have to do with the social pressures like that. I'm sure it has a lot to do with a lot of things, which Tori and I can definitely talk more about. One thing that for a red flag that came up when Tori and I were talking is like when they ask you to go Dutch on the first date.
Ooh. Except for that, if I'm not feeling it, I will go Dutch with you. That's a sign.
I feel like other people would probably relate to that. Like, I feel like if there's just not that immediate chemistry, and you kind of know after a first or second date, well, in this case, we're talking about a first date, like you can, like, if the conversation's dull, like it's just nothing there. Like, obviously, as someone that's like not feeling it, I think it's okay to offer.
Yeah, ladies, don't take advantage if you know that you're not going to feel it. But also men, if you're automatically like, let's go Dutch. No, not about it. Yeah. Don't ask me out on a date to then
I was about to say, yeah, if they asked me on a date, I'm not expected to pay. You ask me out and I'm coming to meet you. So, yeah.
Just saying.
Guys.
Okay, how about when guys go out with their guy friends more than taking you out on dates? That'd be a red flag for me.
I hope like we can just put red flags all over us like a crown. You know. Guys, like this is alarming. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about like when I'm in a relationship, I love being my own person because there's things I like to do. I have priorities, a lot of responsibilities, not only with work, but I own a home now. My family is so important. There's things I want to do. So I think there's definitely a great balance when you're in a relationship, like each being your own individual. And I don't need to be tied at your hip at all. But when it comes to like, every Friday, Saturday, you're out with your guys and I might see you for like a dinner. Like that's a little alarming because it's like, why are you spending time with these people and you're not spending time with me?
It's like that you don't care about me and you care about your friends more.
And then
fine, you can care about your friends, but also like show interest in me if I'm putting in the effort into this relationship. Yes. I'm just too old to not be cared about.
I know. And I think what that kind of habit and that red flag leads to is like, if they're doing that right now, and no matter if it's like 3 months, 6 months, a year, and they're still constantly like putting their friends first. And if you ever want to pursue a marriage with this person, you'll always probably be the second choice. And no one should be second choice.
Not when you're married to them. There are too many legalities in that for you to be second place.
Mm-hmm.
That means you will be second place. Any child that you have with that person will be second place. Just saying, throwing it out there. Let's just all be real about it.
Yeah. We got some feelings going on.
I do. You know what? In my last long-term relationship, this happened to me all of the time. And like, he would get so mad at me when I would be like, why do you always hang out with your friends? And that's not a diss to his friends. Like, I loved his friends, but also like, if you're going out with them every single weekend and you're only taking me on a date, and meanwhile, we had been together for like multiple years at this point. Every single weekend you're going out with your friends, but you can only take me on a date once a month.
Yeah.
And then always complain. Here's another thing. Always complaining about money, but then have enough money to go out with your friends, but don't have enough money to take me out on a date.
Girl.
That should have been a red flag right there. That should have been a red flag right there.
Waving. Guys. That's another thing. It's like, if you see them like, spending all their money on like foolish things or indulging in things, and, then they're coming to you like, oh, like, I want to do something for you, but I can't. Really? Like, you've made the choice to spend your money foolishly, and, you want to do something with me now. It's a little too late. Like, come on. Priorities. Be mature. Manage your shit.
Heard.
Mm-hmm. One other one. I think this is very important. When your family and friends don't like your partner.
I have not experienced this yet. I will just say, like, my friends for the most part, minus a few, my family for sure loved my ex. So that was like the hardest part of like us breaking up. And I loved his family very much. But I know and have seen people and have been the person who doesn't like your friends or your family's partner. Mm-hmm. So I understand more so the other side of it.
I could agree with that too, because my last serious relationship, I was out of state. So my family only saw that my partner on FaceTime, like briefly, like never met him in person. So I think I really can't relate to that either, but I know people and I've been on that, like you, like I've been on the side where I didn't like the partner my friend or family member was with because, it just, you start noticing things like they might have changed, they're different, like
where you just know that person deserves better than what they're getting.
Yeah. And you're like the outsider seeing it. I think that's what makes it difficult because it's like, how do you approach that? Because I also have seen people like go through relationships, like they put like a wedge and like they're completely separated from their family and friend groups, or like they make like your partner makes you choose like me over your family, like, which I think that's disgusting. Like if anyone puts me in that position, you're out, because my family
also like it's the balance too. So going back to our last point, like if you're hanging out with your friends way more than you're hanging out with me, like I never want to put your partner in a position where like you have to make the choice. But also if it's getting that extreme, I think it's all a balance and very much situational. But if your partner is intentionally like trying to separate you from your family and your friends with no like reason per se, then that's a big red flag, friends. Big red flag.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation anytime friends or family are involved, for sure. Like, that's definitely a different dynamic and you have to navigate that for sure. So, all right.
So, have you ever been with someone that literally is always guilt tripping you for something? Yes.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, like when it comes to guilt tripping, I think it's all about delivery. Like this is where I'm coming from. Like there's something about like obviously everyone has intention, so I think it's all about delivery and the way it's delivered to you, the way you take it, and if you're actually like having a conversation with the person about like, this is a problem kind of thing. But when it comes to guilt tripping, it's like, why? Like is there really a reason? Because if you're guilting me to, you know, do something different because you want me to be doing something and I'm not doing it, or you want me to say something, or you want me to act differently, or, whatever that is, like, it's like, why? Like, why are you trying to make me feel guilty for something and I haven't done something to tell you otherwise, or or give you the excuse to try to guilt trip me into something. I hope that makes sense. I probably didn't make any sense.
No, it makes sense. And I think that when you're with someone who's constantly guilt tripping you, you have to like really sit down and start thinking about what is their insecurity, right? Like guilt tripping shouldn't be a part of a relationship, but obviously that person has some kind of insecurity, and that could be from being with someone who, maybe has cheated on you. So your partner is guilt tripping you because they feel not confident within their relationship. It could be that, that person just in general is more attracted to you than you are to them, and they're guilt tripping you because they want to feel secure within their relationship. I feel like there are just like so many different things, and if you're the partner on the other side of the guilt tripping, you really need to sit down and start looking at what is wrong and address it straight from the beginning, because that's not something that you're going to want to deal with for the rest of your life. And believe me, if it's not addressed, it is something that you will deal with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And like when you're in a relationship, it needs to be 50-50. You need to care about that person, but that person also needs to care about you. And if that's something that you're dealing with at this moment in time, that is a big red flag. You don't want to marry into that. People show you their colors right from the beginning. They show you who they are. Like, I believe Maya Angelou said this quote, but listen to people when they tell you who they are. Like,
yeah,
people don't change. People don't.
And like you said, I think it's something you have to address. Otherwise, nothing's going to be fixed. So, boom.
And if it becomes something that they're always criticizing you or always guilt tripping you, that shit gets annoying.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into our other last one, Tori, is like the criticism. Like I've been in a place where I was definitely in a relationship where I was criticized for my looks. I was criticized to tone up. And I know
because I don't think I've ever known Lauren Brown as not tone.
Gosh. And I briefly spoke about this on our season 1 because, if you guys are new to here, like Tori and I went on crazy journeys, like, when we were younger, and like it's always ongoing. Like we have, body issues, and like, we've taken a lot of work on ourselves to be accepting of our bodies. Unfortunately, we went down paths that we weren't happy about because of things in our surroundings. And, when it does come to anyone coming after you about your physical appearance, it's like, if you're saying crap to me now in a relationship, and you're going to talk down to me and you want me to behave a certain way, like almost be like that cookie cutter, like put me in a box kind of like person that you want to be with, like that's a problem. Because if they're going to come after you, like they don't like the way you did this, they don't like the way you did that, like you're never going to satisfy them or make them happy, because they're just looking for things to put you down for, which is not okay.
Yep. 100% agree. And like, honestly, when you're dealing with someone who has trauma in their lives, and I think at this point we can probably say the millennial generation in general just has like a lot of trauma for all the things that we've been through. Transitioning into the social media generation also like has a lot of things that come with that. And so going back to my point, if you're dealing with somebody with a lot of trauma, that could be like, if you're constantly criticizing them and picking at the way they look, way they act, just like all of the random things that can come with that, you're putting them back into that mental state of trauma. Like, and the way they react to that, you're not being supportive either. Like, I don't know. The next person I'm with, like, I apologize in advance, I'm in therapy. Like, but true. Like, I want to be in a relationship where it's 50-50, I'm supporting you, you're supporting me. Like, I tell all the people that I start dating, like, I want to build an empire. Like, that is my dream. I want to build a family empire. Like, the person who I'm with has to be on my level because I got big dreams and big goals. So if you're going to be putting me down and putting me back into this mental state, like, I'm going to turn back into 14-year-old Tori. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think like if you are in a relationship and you're communicating, you've shared like, your traumas and your stories, like, and you're being upfront with that, like naturally we have triggers. Like, so for me, like it's words, and that puts me back into old Lauren. So if you're not respecting that side of me or like what I need, like that, you can't give me what I need. Like, you're not being a partner that I want to be with. If you are going to almost throw it in my face and take me back to a place where, I wasn't happy, and like, I've done so much work on myself. So it's just not fair. So guys, like, if anyone's doing that to you right now and they're not accepting and they're not compassionate, like, you guys, you deserve so much more. And that's for guys and girls. Like, never let someone put you back to where, you work so hard to not be in, so that's that.
That is that. And that concludes our list of red flags for this episode. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to drop in our DMs and or comments on this post to let us know any more red flags that you have coming. Maybe there could be a part 2 to this. I know there are so many more things we could have talked about, but these are high on our priority list when it comes to being in a relationship with Tori and Lauren. So,
dorks.
like I said, follow us on Instagram with love, Tori and Lauren, and forever and always with love, Tori and Lauren. Bye, guys.
Be sure to join us bi-weekly for our new episodes this season. Be sure to follow us at With Love, Tori and Lauren.